I'm gonna be talking about Yume shipping / self-shipping. So this is basically like having either yourself, your like original character, or your persona, which is either, a version of you with the traits that you want, yourself again, but in more of an artsy representation. So self-shipping / Yume shipping are all these guys X some sort of character, from any type of media. There's this thing where it's like sharing or non-sharing. I still don't completely understand it, but I do think that it's just like a fun thing. Sometimes the world is the world. It's just fun to do, and it helps take the stress off of the world. And like I said, my thoughts on it are like, it's fun. I've dabbled in it. Specifically, my current fake boyfriends are Laios from Dungeon Meshi and Dr. Flug from Villainous. And honestly, this isn't really a new thing for me, even though I feel like some people act like it is a new thing. Because, I remember Sans Fangirls and, the waifu husbando thing. This has all been going on in the West for, a while. Even if it wasn't, called, having a waifu or having a husbando. Because I'm pretty sure those come from, anime culture. All around the West, people have been, having fun, having characters, be their little fictional crushes. But I also think, this is kind of, a thing versus thing Japan with the name. Because people swear up and down, no, Yume shipping is way different from self-shipping. Even though they're, the same thing. Especially, when people are let me explain to you the difference. Yume shipping is blah 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 blah, and then somebody else will say, well, actually no, that's self-shipping. That's what self-shipping is. They're just the same thing. One just has a name originating from the Japanese culture of mostly women shipping themselves with the characters they love. And like I said before, this has happened in the West already. As I remember it, it was mostly men doing it, but, there was also the Sans Fangirls. I remember when people would get bullied over that, which was not good. I think, these young girls were being a bit strange and might have needed some help, but they weren't doing anything wrong by shipping themselves with Sans. Speaking of that, some of these people who do Yume / self-shipping, and it's not all of them. I know for certain it's not all of them. But when it comes to the sharing / non-sharing stuff, as far as I can tell, it's being okay with seeing people shipping themselves with your character versus not. And obviously people are gonna have a preference for no, I just don't want to see that, and that's fine and dandy. But when it gets to things being genuinely jealous, angry, sad that your character is being shipped with another person's character or another person, at that point, like I said with Sans Fangirls, I think you might need help, bro. Because if you're genuinely becoming distressed over seeing somebody falling in love with your character, I think you need help. And there's also a thing to say about getting bullied over shipping yourself with a character. Bullying isn't okay. There's nothing wrong with doing this because it's fun. People will say it's cringe, and I'm gonna be so honest, it is cringe. So what? It's also fun. Not everything that's super polished or whatever. Things can just be fun. We need to stop with this bullying people because they're cringe. It's not the look. But what I'm trying to say is that we don't need to deny that it's cringe for it to also be normal. Especially when it's with younger people. Like, just let them be. Let them be cringe. Let them, have fun. But hopefully this is posted soon. Thanks for listening to me. I hope this wasn't too big of a yap session.